Okay, my name is Douglas Achingale. I'm a writer and a social worker. My name is Douglas Achingale. I'm a writer and a social worker. I am the Deputy Director General of the Cardinal Paul-Émile Léger National Center for the Rehabilitation of Persons with Disabilities. Well, impact to me means, building trust in people, making them feel hopeful, enabling them to see the world or to make the world a better place than they met it. First of all, I'm a writer. I started off writing. I'm author of 5 books, poetry, prose, and drama. I also exercise the profession of social work. I worked for the Ministry of Social Affairs for 22 years in different capacities. My efforts were crowned, with a presidential decree that appointed me Deputy Director General of the Cardinal Paul-Émile Léger National Center for the Rehabilitation of Persons with Disabilities. So if you go through my books, you will realize that there is always, there are always 2 categories of personages, of characters, the oppressor and the downtrodden. I bring out the evil ways of the oppressor. The oppressor who always thinks that, it is his right to trample on the rights of others. By so doing, I ignite, some positive feeling, some, permit me to use the term revolutionary feeling in my readers, especially those who are discriminated against, so that, they can throw stones, if you like, in literary terms, throw stones at the oppressors as a way of, making their situation better. In the Ministry of Social Affairs, I worked, in the area of rehabilitation of persons with disabilities. I did a lot, to raise them. Persons with disabilities have all sorts of challenges, especially, those that have to do with accessibility, access to public buildings, and even private buildings that are open to the public, access to education. It's a big challenge for persons with disabilities. Even when I was promoted to my current office, I am still doing, it is a mere continuation of what I used to do at the ministry. Because this is an institution, the Cardinal Paul-Émile Léger National Center for the Rehabilitation of Persons with Disabilities is an institution that caters for persons with disabilities at different levels. At the level of education, at the level of healthcare, and so on. The public may want to know that I live with a physical challenge. Just the fact that I am there is an inspiration to persons with disabilities who come to this center for one kind of treatment or another. I tell you something. Just last year, towards the fall of 2019, I organized a wheelchair basketball tournament for persons with disabilities who come to do sports in that center. I think it created a great impact on their lives and on the lives of onlookers, because so many people it was the first of its kind. Very recently, I wrote a book titled Inclusive Education, The Way to Go, wherein I, bring out the fact that, persons with disabilities, persons with special needs should not be confined at home. They should be educated. They should be educated in an inclusive way. What is inclusive education? Inclusive education has to do with, grouping children with disabilities and their so-called able-bodied peers into one setting and teaching them together so that one group doesn't feel excluded from the mainstream society. You don't need, somebody to ask you to create impact. Just listen to yourself, Believe in your own abilities. Once you identify the kinds of things you are able to do them. Don't sit, don't rest on your laurels thinking that you've achieved a lot and you can no longer do something. So believe in yourself. Don't think that you are too small or too limited to do something that will raise others.